Hello. Phoebe, R. Tsukino, or EXE Tsukino, Jazz Russell Scott here. It is 1:52 a.m., the 7th of February, and this is a bit of a odd debut. Uh, there won't be too much going on here, per se. This is just kind of a little audio experiment, or even just an audio thing for me, where I am going to kind of try and record my thoughts whenever I kind of have these sort of moments of quiet where it's just sort of looping time and time again in my head. Um, Tonight, we're going to start with a little bit of sort of a thought of like how, I guess, the interest of the transaction of time, um, and how we kind of take time a bit for granted, in my opinion, where we don't entirely realize what it is we are selling whenever we say, I don't know, put ourselves up for a job, as an example. This is all brought by a thought or theorem that is not my own. Um, I heard it from uh, Matt, Pat, and Stephanie of the Game Theory sort of conglomerate. Not sure what to franchise. I don't even know what to call it. But they brought it the theorem to me of the opposite of happiness being interestingness, and essentially that being the concept of how the people who run these, interesting, busy lives, they're moving from place to place all the time, and this sort of concept that you're, the more interesting that you are or appeal to be, the less happy that you might actually be. And it's of course a bit of a spectrum. Um, it's not black and white. There's no clear right or wrong. It's kind of where you find your own balance in that. And my sort of 2 cents to add to this sort of concept is the transaction of time, where when you start to kind of think of it in this sort of style, we tend to sort of what? We don't really think about how when we give our time, that is our happiness, essentially. A lot of the time in an ideal world, a lot of us probably wouldn't be working as much as we do. Like, some people do genuinely enjoy their work and whatnot, but if they didn't have to pay bills, they would do different work, And the thought process I kind of want to give to you all is this idea that it's all kind of like a transaction, basically. And maybe this is not new. If that's the case, then good. Okay. I don't know. Point is, the this is unscripted. I don't know if that's obvious. Um, the point is that we sell our happiness in the prospects, or the concept of the future, or potential. We sell our time for money and the potential for a new skill or a sort of future. And when it's put into that way, we can kind of look at a lot of trends right now where a lot of things are kind of going a bit, well, funky, we'll call it, for lack of better words. And the job industry, a lot of where around where I'm at is, and possibly other places too, is the idea that, a lot of people are either quitting or are being put into positions where they need to quit, basically. Like it's intentionally set up in such a way. And when we think about people and talking about this kind of outrage and a lot of these things, when you put it into this new perspective, it makes a lot of sense why this outrage is a thing, because a lot of people start to feel cheated about their transaction. You know, people sacrifice their time and their happiness to try and get something else out of it. And if they're not actually getting that thing out of it, then it's something that they feel is, it's a waste of time. And now statements like that, waste of time, time is money, um, things like that, all now have this completely new meaning to them, where time, you start to understand the value of time and its sort of purpose in all of this. Maybe not purpose. I bring all this up because one of the constant sort of things that we think about is how, or a lot of us tend to reach these points in our lives where we are at rock bottom, or we maybe have just gone through some kind of horrible event or great event, even. Who knows? Um, and it's led to us thinking about, well, where do we go from here? And recently for me, that was a matter of a choice. Um, and the choice for me is to either the sort of transaction in either situation. One side, the transaction is that I stay safe, I stay content, but I'm selling my individuality, my independence. I'm selling my want for human communication and overall adventure for this stability. And then the other side of it is that I could, the transaction on the other side is that I could sell that stability and that sort of safety and consistency for a sort of feeling of adventure or a feeling of what? Freedom? The price of freedom is steep, I guess. I don't know. That just popped into my head. Um, and when I weigh those two, for me personally, I think about what it is that I want most, and it's to feel like my choice is my own and to have that freedom. So for me, I guess it makes sense that the choice for me would be to sacrifice that stability. And that's what I plan on doing. I don't know if that's going to remain relevant to these or not. This is kind of the, I don't know, the pilot episode, as if I don't really have an idea for this. Um, Realistically, these will probably be like unlisted, I guess. I don't know. They're going to be unedited. you get to enjoy all the silence that comes with my pauses in my thoughts. But you also get to hear a little bit more of the thoughts that are in my head, for whatever that is worth to you, dear listener and viewer. I don't plan to ever care about monetization or anything. This is mostly just me getting my thoughts out into the world to those who are willing to listen. So, yeah. This has been the ramblings of the son of Lucifer and the daughter of Athena. Um, Maybe I'll get better with this over time. We'll see. I'm going to try and keep these relatively short, below 15 minutes at most. Um, so, wherever you are, whatever time it is, I hope that you're doing well. And remember to try and always strive for whatever the highest good is for you. Goodbye.